My name's Tyla Harrington. I'm an editor with McPherson Media Group and I recently won a Quill.
But the winner of the Regional and Rural Quill this year for her outstanding work in Echuca Specialist School is Tyla Harrington of the Riverine Herald.
Tyla Harrington displayed the best of campaigning journalism to achieve an outstanding result for the Riverine Herald's community. Her sustained reporting forced the state government to deliver on a stalled promise to build a new specialist school in Echuca. As she wrote, Echuca Specialist School, local business, the community and this paper refused to go quietly into the night when the Victorian government abandoned the most vulnerable students in Echuca Moama.
I think with the Echuca Specialist School it was really a story that seemed to tell itself in a way. Like, we had a school that was snubbed by the Victorian government and it was the most in need across Victoria, I would argue. And I remember that one of the parents came in and he told me about the story, and I said, okay, well, let's try and get as many parents and people involved in as we can. I think there was 20 interviews that we did and we videoed it all, and just so that we could really get the impact out there.
You wouldn't believe the number of people that came in here. Not necessarily immediately affected, but just people all queuing up, wanting to thank her, congratulate her, and meet her as someone who's really achieved something, and it was an achievement.
When I had all the interviews, I remember going to my editor and being like, well, we've got all this, like, what do we do? He came up with this idea of putting him as a poster, wanted poster on the front page saying, oh, wanted Mr. Molino, he needs to come here and make the announcement.
Regional journalism means still being in contact with your readers. We don't have huge stories, or rarely, but we have stories that are incredibly relevant to a small community.
We started running that campaign and it took, I think, 69 days. We ran in every single issue of the paper. We just kept counting the number of days that he'd left the school out of the budget. And then on the 69th day he came and made the announcement, which was just spectacular.
In some little shape or form, nearly everyone in the room did a little bit with her on that story, so they all have that sense of ownership. And when she got the award, I suspect by the time she got from the table where we were sitting to the stage, and her phone was on the thing, and it was just going bing, bing, bing.
In fact, that was the second win in this category for the Riverine Herald, so a fantastic effort by that newspaper too.
It just sort of gives them that little lift, or actually a big lift, and gives them a sense of, well, we're as good as everyone else.
In a regional setting, it's not often that you can start a campaign and actually get them to change their mind. And it was pretty cool.
It's a community that isn't like working on the Herald Sun or the Age, that you see and touch and then they disappear forever. You bump into them down the street, you bump into them at the movie theatre at night, you bump into them at the sports field. So if you've unfortunately had to take a negative stance for them, you have to live with it. But there are real rewards to be gained in regional journalism. And Tyla is a classic example with the story she did, or the campaign she ran for the specialist school here.
I really can't speak more highly of regional journalism. I think someone told me once, if you can hold up a mirror to the community, that should be the paper. The paper should reflect its community.